significant time when we were going through in 2020. COVID, right? COVID. Well, it just so happens, February 4th, I turned 49. So I said to myself, I need to get my mammogram before I have my annual with my doctor. So I thought, man, I'm going to get one up on her. Get it scheduled, get it done. I called it scheduled, and they gave me February 14th as a day to come for the appointment. I thought, oh, that's Valentine's Day. So I thought, well, it's not like I'm going to have a date. I already have a husband. So, okay, I love myself. I'll take the appointment. So I go to the appointment, and while I'm there, the tech goes through her rundown, and she's going through questions like, do you have a history of breast cancer? No. Do you have any implants? And I'm over here chuckling to myself, I wish. You know, she's like, no, just joking. So not realizing all this, I'm just trying to be funny with the lady. And the following Monday, I get a call back. You need to come back. The mammogram we took showed some findings we need to re-screen you for. And I thought, oh my God. But there is history in my family where we have against tissue. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll go back. That's fine. I go back that following week, do a screening. This mark was so small, I mean like a dot, but it was enough for them to say, come back here. The screening went to an ultrasound. They looked at the ultrasound and said it's still suspicious. So from there, they said we need to do a biopsy. So the biopsy is where they take the needle and pull out some of the tissue and send it in to be tested. Well, I had my appointment with my doctor and I was like, hey, I was really good. I did what before you even told me to do the mammogram, I got it done. However, I had to do a biopsy. So she said, okay, when we know, we will call you either to come in to discuss, or we'll just call you and tell you that it's good news, it's nothing. Well, that Friday was when we went on a lockdown for COVID. My doctor calls me and says, normally I would have him come in, but because of the COVID lockdown, I have to give you this news over the phone. Your results came back, it's cancer. I just stood there. I was like, okay, thank you. But then she says, but don't worry, with it being COVID, you move to the top of the line as far as surgeries and whatever treatments are necessary. That was the beginning of my journey. So, as it turns out, I have what they call a triple negative BRCA1 gene. I had to be tested. Not only do I have cancer, but I'm a gene carrier. That means I pass it down to my girls. So the responsible thing for me to do is to tell them, because if they want to have a future with children, they're going to have to plan to have their children and then possibly remove their ovaries. Because that type of cancer affects not only the breast, your ovaries, and you can also have pancreatic cancer. Those were the high risks that I was facing. There are so many types of breast cancer. This is just the one I was dealt. So luckily, 49, I have 3 children. I didn't need to have any more kids. So I had to do a surgery called oophorectomy, where they remove your ovaries. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a day. That sucker was aggressive. It spread. So I had to go back in again and remove the outer part. I wish I could say my journey was a straight shot, but because of the second surgery, I ended up having an infection. An infection that took 2 weeks to heal, open. It had to heal open from the inside out. I needed a nurse to come care for me every day to clean the wound, to measure the wound, to make sure it had healed before I started chemotherapy. Now, because my cancer was, at first they thought stage 0, but then because of the aggressiveness of it, they said stage 1. So my oncologist says you will need 4 rounds of chemotherapy. For my type of cancer, radiation does not work. So it was the only choice is chemotherapy. So did the chemotherapy. Everyone has complications. When you go into breast cancer, your issues that matter. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, which was me at the time, that just added to my journey, added to the complications. And if you have something called an immune disorder, which I have also, which is psoriasis. So when you have that on top of everything, your immune system is already low, and you're trying to fight the cancer. How did I manage to survive? God. I clung to my faith. You know, there was just money and they couldn't go with me in the treatments. They couldn't go with me in the surgery rooms, the recovery rooms. It was just me and a big man upstairs. I said, look, it's in your hands. I'm going to go along for the ride. You're my ride or die, sir. Get me through this. It was not fun. Those chemotherapy sessions, man, they put you on your butt. Seriously. You feel like, oh my God, can I make it? Between the first 3 to 5 days, you feel like you've been run over. When you look at your family, they're there supporting you, cheering you on, and you're just like, oh my God, this is nuts. You lose your hair, you get bloated, you just are not you. But somewhere deep inside, you know God is there and He's going to bring you out of it. So with Him and with the love of your family, you'll be able to survive any journey before you, whether it's cancer or anything else.